This is the EdExcel GCSE 9-1 Maths Foundation Paper 1 from the sample papers, and this paper is a non-calculated paper. Question number 1, we have to write the following numbers in order of size. Start with the smallest number first. Well, this is written to 2 decimal places, this is written to 1 decimal place, this is written to 2 decimal places, this is written to 3 decimal places. So what we can do is write each of these numbers to 3 decimal places by adding placeholders in. Here we've got 0.610, here we've got 0.100, here we've got 0.160, and then we've got the 0.106. Now, because each of these are written to 3 decimal places, ordering them would become straightforward. This is the smallest, followed by this, followed by this, followed by this. So we've got 0.1 followed by the 0.106 followed by the 0.16 followed by the 0.61. Question 2. We have to write 0.037 as a fraction. Well, we've got 1, 2, 3 digits after the decimal place, so our fraction will be out of 1000. So we've got 37 out of 1000, which is the same as 0.037. Question number 3, we have to write down the 20th odd number. First of all, odd numbers are of the form 2n minus 1. Now we want the 20th odd number, so we need to see what happens when n is equal to 20. We would have 2 multiplied by 20, subtract 1, which is 39. 39 is the 20th odd number. Question number 4, we have to write down all the factors of 20. Well, 1 times by 20 gives 20, 2 times by 10 gives 20, 4 times by 5 gives 20. Here are all the factors of 20. Question number 5. Tanya needs to buy chocolate bars for all the children in year 7. Each of the 130 children get 1 chocolate bar. There are 8 chocolate bars in each packet. We have to work out the least number of packets of chocolate bars Tanya needs to buy. Well, we've got 130 children and we've got 8 chocolate bars in each packet. So to find out how many packets we need to work out 130 divided by 8. Now, because both the top and the bottom are even numbers, we can divide the top and bottom by 2, leaving us with 65 over 4. So, how many times does 4 go into 65? Well, that will be 16 whole times, and what's left over is 1/4. So we've got 16 1/4 packets. And therefore, the least number of packets we need is 17. Greg rolls a fair ordinary dice once. On the probability scale, we have to mark with a cross the probability that the dice will land on an odd number. Well, the numbers he could have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We want an odd number. Well, there's 1, 2, 3 out of 6. So the probability that we get an odd number is equal to 3 out of 6, which simplifies to 1/2. So we put a cross over here. For the next part, we have to, on the probability scale, mark with a cross the probability that the dice will land on a number less than 5. Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers which are less than 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in total. So therefore the probability that the number is less than 5, that's equal to 4 out of 6, and we put a cross then over here. We've got 4 out of 6. Question number 7. One day Sally earned £60. She worked for 8 hours. We have to work out Sally's hourly rate of pay. So she earned £60 and she works for 8 hours. So per hour we would have 60 divided by 8, which simplifies to 30 over 4, which simplifies even further to 15 over 2, which is 7.5. So we have £7.50 per hour. Question number 8, we have to work out 15% of 80. First of all, let's work out what 10% is. To work out what 10% is, we do 80 divided by 10, which is 8, and therefore 5% will be half of the 8, which is 4, and therefore 15%, this will be 8 plus 4, which is 12. Question number 9. There are 3 red beads and 1 blue bead in a jar. A bead is taken at random from the jar. What's the probability that the bead is blue? Well, how many beads would we have in total? Well, in total, we've got 3 red plus 1 blue. We've got 4 beads in total, and of those, 1 of them is red. So the probability then is 1/4. 10. There are only black pens and green pens in a box. The ratio of the number of black pens to the number of green pens in the box is 2 to 5. What fractions of the pens are black? Well, 2 plus 5 tells us that there are 7 parts in total, and of these 7, 2 of them would be black. So the fraction of black pens is 2/7. Question number 11. Sally has 3 tiles. Each tile has a different number on it. She puts the 3 tiles down to make a number. Each number is made with all 3 tiles. How many different numbers can Sally make? Well, she could have the 1, the 2, and the 3 together in this order. Or she could have the 1, the 3, and the 2 together. She could have the 2, the 1, and the 3, or the 2, the 3, and the 1. Or she could have 3, 1, and 2, or 3, 2, and 1. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different numbers she can make. So there's 6 different numbers Sally can make. Question number 12. Here are the first 3 patterns in a sequence. The patterns are made from triangles and rectangles. For part A, how many triangles are there in pattern number 7? Well, in pattern number 1, you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles. In pattern 2, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 triangles, and in pattern 3 we've got 4 plus another 4, which is 8 plus this and this, so there's 10 triangles in pattern 3. We want to find out how many triangles there are in pattern 7. Well, if we find the nth term, from the 6 to the 8 we add 2, and from the 8 to the 10 we add 2, and therefore for the 0th term we would have to do the inverse of plus 2, which is minus 2. 6 minus 2 is 4, so the nth term this will be 2n plus the 4. Now we want the 7th, so when n is 7 we have 2 multiplied by 7 plus the 4. 14 plus 4 is 18. There are 18 triangles in pattern 7. Next, Charlie says there are 4 rectangles in pattern 3, so there will be 8 rectangles in pattern 6. Is Charlie correct? Give a reason for your answer. Now, first of all, Charlie will be incorrect, and the way we can figure that out is, from each pattern number you can see there's one more rectangle than previously. Here we've got 2, here we've got 3, here we've got 4. And so the number of rectangles is increasing by 1, and therefore there'll be 7 rectangles, not 8. Question number 13. Paul organised an event for a charity. Each ticket for the event costs £19.95. Paul sold 395 tickets. Paul paid costs of £6,000. He gave all money left to the charity. We have to work out for part A an estimate for the amount of money Paul have to the charity. So we've got each ticket being £19.95, and we are selling 395 tickets. Now we need to work out an estimate for the amount of money he gave to charity. Well, this calculation is approximately equal to 20 times by 400, which is 8,000. And so he paid costs of £6,000. This is how much all the tickets are sold for. So we've got 8,000 take away 6,000, which is 2,000. So he gave £2,000 to charity. Then for part B, is our answer an underestimate or an overestimate? Give a reason for your answer. Well, it's an overestimate because the ticket price and the number of tickets sold were both rounded up. Question number 14. The table shows information about the number of fruit trees in an orchard. We've got apple tree, pear tree and plum tree. Part A, the pictogram shows this information. We have to complete the key for the pictogram. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 triangles for apple tree, and we've got 45 apple trees in total, and therefore 45 divided by 9 is equal to 5. So one triangle would represent 5 trees. Then for part B, there are 90 fruits in the orchard, and what we have to do is draw an accurate pie chart for this information. Well, what we need to do in this question is find out the required angle. And the way we can do that is to think to ourselves, well, if 90 trees would represent 360 degrees, then what we need to do is find out how many 45 trees would represent for an angle. Well, 45 is half of 90, so half of 360 is 180. Then for pair, well, what we can do is find out the angle for one tree. One tree will equal 90, 360 divided by 90, which is 4. So for one tree, we've got 4 degrees. So timesing that by 20, we get 80 degrees for pear, and for plum, we've got 25 times 4, which is 100 degrees. So now let's draw our pie chart. So 180 degrees takes us up to here, so let's just finish this line off from here to here. What we have is apple, and the angle for this is 180 degrees. Then for pear we have 80, so 80 degrees is over here. So we join this up with this. So for pear we would have 80. And for plum then we'd have the rest of it, which is 100 degrees. Here is the completed pie chart. Question number 15. Carpet tiles are going to be used to cover a floor. The floor is 1200 millimeters by 1000 millimeters rectangle. Each carpet tile is a 40 centimeter by 30 centimeter rectangle. Exactly 10 carpet tiles can be used to cover the floor completely. We have to show in a labeled sketch how this can be done. Well, what we can do is convert the centimeters to millimeters by timesing by 10. So from centimeters to millimeters, we times by 10. Millimeters to centimeters we divide by 10. So for the carpet tile, we would have 400 millimeters by 300 millimeters. So we need to show how this can be fitted into the floor. Well, here is our floor. 1200 by 1000. So here you can see we've got the 400 fitting across this length here 3 times. So we've got 400, 400 and 400. That makes the 1200. And then I'm stacking this again. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this arrangement here. Now what's left is 1000 take away the 300 take away another 300. This will be 400. So what we can see then is this way we can rotate this essentially. And here we've got 12,000, and if I do 12,000 divided by the 300, I would have 4. So here we could have the 300 being multiplied by 4 to make the 1200. So this is an arrangement of how we could put the 10 carpet tiles on the floor. Question number 16. Sam buys 20 boxes of oranges. There are 25 oranges in each box. Each box of oranges costs £7. Sam sells 2/5 of the oranges he bought. He sells each of these oranges for 40p. He then sells each of the remaining oranges at 3 oranges for 50p. Did Sam make a profit or did Sam make a loss? You must show working to justify your answer. Well, if there's 20 boxes and we've got 25 orange in each box, that means we've got 20 times 25, which is 500. Oranges in total. Now, if each box cost £7, that means the cost of all the boxes will equal 20 multiplied by 7, which is 140. So we've got £140, which is the total cost of all the boxes. Now 2/5 of the oranges he bought are sold. So that means that 2/5 of 500, well, here 500 divided by 5 is 100, times that by 2. That means we have 200 oranges are sold. And if he sells each of these oranges for 40p, that means 200 times by 0.40, that's equal to £80. So he sold all the oranges for £80. Now, we are told he sells the remaining oranges at 3 oranges for 50p. Well, first of all, if there's 200 oranges sold, the number of oranges left over then, we've got 500 oranges in total, 200 of these are sold, 300 will be left. So, what we know, we have 3 oranges for 50p, and if we say that one pack contains 3 oranges, then 300 divided by 3 is 100, which means there's 100 packs to be sold at 50p each. So if I do 100 times by 50p, I get £50. So £50 are sold with these packs, and therefore the total income is the £80 plus the £50, which is £130. Now, we know that the cost is 140, so this amount here is less than the £140, and therefore he makes a loss of £10. Question number 17. 100 students had some homework. 42 of these students are boys. 8 of the 100 students did not do their homework. 53 of the girls did do the homework. Use this information to complete the frequency tree. Well, we've got 100 students in total. That information is told to us in the question. And then it says 42 of these students are boys. So, what we have then is 42 students who are boys, which means the number of girls then will be 100 take away 42, which is 58. Then it says 8 of the 100 students did not complete the homework, so we've got 8 in total who did not complete the homework, and we are also told that 53 of the girls did do the homework. So we've got 53 girls who did the homework, which means there's 5 who did not do the homework, who are girls, and if I add that to 3, we would have altogether 8 who did not do their homework. So the number of boys who did do their homework, 42 subtract 3, is 39. Here is the completed frequency tree. Then for the next part, one of the girls is chosen at random. We have to work out the probability that this girl did not do her homework. Well, what we know is there is 58 girls in total, and of this 58, of these, we are told that 5 did not do their homework. So this is the required probability. Question number 18. For part A, we have to work out 2/7 plus 1/5. Well, to work out what this fraction is, what we need to do is write each of these fractions over a common denominator. The common denominator will be 35. So 2/7 is the same as 10 out of 35. 1/5 is the same as 7 out of 35. So if I add this together, we will end up with 17 over 35. For the next part, we have to work out 1 2/3 divided by 3/4. Well, what we need to do is convert the 1 2/3 into a mixed number. To do that, we would have the 1 multiplied by the 3 plus the 2, and then I'm dividing that by 3. And then this result is being divided by 3/4. So I've got 3 plus 2, which is 5. I've got 5/3 divided by 3/4. And if we work this out, well, we've got our first fraction, 5/3, and we have to multiply this by the reciprocal of the second fraction, which is 4/3. And so what we end up with is 5 times by 4, which is 20. 3 times 3 is 9. So we end up with 20 over 9. Question number 19, we have to solve 4x plus 5 equals x plus 26. If I subtract x from both sides, I would have 3x plus 5 equals 26. Then if I subtract 5 from both sides, we would have 3x equals 21. And then if I divide both sides by 3, we will find x to equal 21 divided by 3, which is 7. X is 7. Question number 20. In a sale, normal prices are reduced by 20%. The normal price of a coat is reduced by £15. We have to work out the normal price of the coat. Well, we've got this 20%, and that would represent the £15. We've got a 20% reduction, and the reduction is £15. Now we want to work out the normal price. So let's suppose the normal price is 100. Multiplying by 5, we end up with £75. Question number 21, we have to work out 6.34 times 5.2. Let's use the grid method. We can rewrite the 6.34 as 6, 0.3 and 0.04. And then the 5.2 we can write as 5 plus 0.2. Now let's multiply. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 0.3 is 1.5. 5 times 0.04 is 0.2. 0.2 times 6 is 1.2. 0.2 times 0.3 is 0.06. 0.2 times 0.04 is 0.008. So now we need to add together the 30, the 1.5, the 0.2, the 1.2, the 0.06, and the 0.008. So now if we add all this together, we've got 8 here, 6 here, then we've got 5 plus 2 plus 2, that's 9. Decimal point goes here. 1 plus 1 is 2. And then we've got the 3 here. So what we end up with is 32.968. Question number 22, we have to expand and simplify m plus 7 multiplied by m plus 3. Well, m times by m is m squared. M times by 3 is 3m. 7 times by m is 7m. 7 times by 3 is 21. If we now collect like terms, we would have m squared plus 10m plus 21. So we have m squared plus 10m plus 21. Question number 23. AE, DBG and CF are parallel. DA is equal to DB, which is equal to DC, and that's what's shown here. The angle EAB and the angle BCF are 38 degrees. We have to work out the value of x. Well, first of all, what we can see is we've got some line of symmetry here. And so the first thing we can mention is DBG is a line of symmetry. Now, what we can first of all see is the angle ABD, which is this angle here, is also equal to the angle CBD. So this angle and this angle will be equal, and the value of that will equal the 38. So this angle here is 38 degrees, and the angle here is 38 degrees. So we've got ABD, which is equal to the angle CBD, which is equal to 38 degrees, and the reason for that is because we've got alternate angles. Now what we can do is find the angle ADB and the angle BDC. Now before that, what we need is this angle, and we also need this angle here. And recognizing that we've got an isosceles triangle and the base angles in an isosceles triangle are equal, this angle is 38, this angle is also 38. So the angle BCD, which is equal to BAD, this is equal to 38 degrees. The reason for that is base angles in an isosceles are equal. And now we can find out what this angle is, which is also equal to this angle. So the angle ADB is equal to the angle CDB, which is equal to 180 subtract 2 times by 38, which is 104 degrees. So this is 104 degrees. This is also 104 degrees. The reason for that, angles in a triangle sum to 180 degrees. And now we can find out this angle X. The angle X is equal to 360, subtract the 104, subtract another 104, which is 152. So this angle here is 152, and the reason for that is angles around a point sum to 360. So X is equal to 152 degrees. Question number 24. Gary drove from London to Sheffield. It took him 3 hours at an average speed of 80 kilometers per hour. Lynn drove from London to Sheffield. She took 5 hours. Assuming that Lynn and drove along the same road as Gary and did not take a break, we have to work out Lynn's average speed from London to Sheffield. If we think about the distance that it takes to go from London to Sheffield, we've got the speed, 80 kilometers per hour, multiplied by 3 hours. and it turns out we get 240 kilometers. Now we know that the time it took Lynn to drive is 5 hours. So Lynn's average speed, we've got 240 kilometers divided by 5 hours, and it turns out we get 48 kilometers per hour. Now for part B, if Lynn did not drive along the same roads as Gary, we have to explain how this could affect your answer to part A. Well, because her distance would be different, her average speed will be different too. Question number 5. In a company, the ratio of the number of men to the number of women is 3 to 2. 40% of the women are under the age of 25 and 10% of the women are under the age of 25. What percentage of all the people in the company are under the age of 25? Well, if we've got 3 to 2 being the ratio of the number of men to women, what we can see from here is 3/5 will be men, and what we also can see is 2/5 are women. Now, we know that 40% of the men are under the age of 25, so that means that we have 40%, so that's going to be 4/10. So we've got 4/10 of the 3/5 who will be men under the age of 25. So the 4/5 would correspond to 40% of the women being under the age of 25. So if I work out what this is the same as 12/50, which is equal to 24 out of 100. Or in other words, 24%. So here we've got 24%. We've got 24% of men who are under 25. Next, we are told that 10% of the women are under the age of 25. So here we would have 1/10 of the 2/5. So here the 1/10 would correspond to the 10%. So if we work out what this is, we've got 2 out of 50, which is the same as 4 out of 100. So we've got 4% of women who are under 25, and therefore the percentage of people in the company under the age of 25, we've got 24 plus 4, which is 28. So we have 28% of people under the age of 25. So here we've got 28. Question number 26. The plan, the front elevation and the side elevation of a solid prism are drawn on a centimetre grid. That's what we see here. And in the space below we have to draw a sketch of the solid prism, writing the dimensions of this. Well, if I take a look at the plan on the front elevation, hopefully what you will notice is this side and this side will correspond to this side and this side respectively. And if we think about the side elevation, Well, for the side elevation, we would have this side corresponding to this side, and we've got this side which would correspond to this side. So what we'll do is we'll start with the front elevation. We've got here the front elevation, and if I add the dimensions on, we've got here 5 centimeters, and then here we've got 2 centimeters, here we've got 4 centimeters, here we've got 3 centimeters, here we've got 2 centimeters, and here we also have 2 centimeters. And if we think about well, we'll do that after, and then we can see that we've got 3 centimeters for the depth of it. So here we've got our depth 3 centimeters. So if we were to match up those points, we've got this and this which match up, and then we've got this and this which matched up, and then we had this and this which matched up, and also this and this which matched up. So here is the sketch of the prism. Question number 27. There are 1,200 students in a school. Kate is helping to organise a party. She's going to order pizza. Kate takes a sample of 60 of students at the school. She asks each student to tell her one type of pizza they want. The table shows information about her results. So we've got 20 who want ham, 15 who want salami, 8 who want vegetarian, and 17 who want margarita. We have to work out how much ham pizza Kate should order. We have to write down any assumptions we make and how this could affect our answer. Well, we've got 60 students in total, and then we've got 20 of those who want ham. So we've got 20 out of 60, which is 1/3. So 1/3 of the students want ham. So we've got this 1/3 of the students, and we've got 1,200 students altogether. So I've got 1/3 of 1,200, which is 400 students. So we've got 400 students who want ham. Now let's think about the assumption. Well, we've assumed that the sample of 60 reflects the whole school, but in reality not all students will go to the party, so we might have to order less pizza. Question number 28. Here is a parallelogram, and we have to work out the value of x and y. Well, the 2x plus 3 will equal the 5x minus 20. So we've got 5x minus 20 equals 2x plus 43. And the reason for this is because the opposite angles in a parallelogram are equal. So if we attempt to solve for x in this case, well, subtracting 2x from both sides, let's do that. We would have 3x minus 20 equals 43. Adding 20 to both sides, 3x is 63, and dividing both sides by 3, what we can see is x is equal to 21. So we've got x is equal to 21. Now what we can also see is that the co-interior angles here add up to 180. So what we have is the 5x minus 20 plus the 4y minus 5x will equal 180. And that's because co-interior angles sum to 180. Now we already know what x is, that's 21. So we have 5 multiplied by 21 minus 20 plus 4y minus 5 multiplied by 21 equals 180. Now what you'd find is 5 times by 21, subtract 5 times by 21 gives 0. So we have minus 20 plus 4y equals 180. Add 20 to both sides. We have 4y equals 200, and if I divide both sides by 4, then what you can see is y equals 50. So we have x is 21, y is 50. Question number 29. We've got shapes A and B, and we have to describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. Well, what we have is a rotation 90 degrees clockwise with center at the origin. Question number 30, we've got the vector A, 3 minus 7, the vector B, 4, 2. We have to work out B minus 2A. So the vector B minus 2A, we have the vector B, 4, 2, subtract 2 multiplied by the vector A, 3 minus 7. So if I work this out, I've got 4, 2, subtract 6 minus 14. So 4 minus 6 is minus 2. 2 subtract negative 14, that is 16. So the vector B minus 2A is equal to minus 2, 16.